Hello friends, in today's video I will start the age of Elizabeth. Since it is not possible to cover the whole age of Elizabeth in one video, I will be discussing the whole age of Elizabeth in several parts. In today's video I will be talking about the European Renaissance and how it influenced England and what was the political background of the age of Elizabeth. The age of Elizabeth starts in 1552 and it ends in 1603. So far as European Renaissance is concerned, it is important because it has shaped the political scenario of England and the whole Europe. We must have You must have heard the name Martin Luther. He was a German monk and he was a professor of theology, and he started interpreting the Bible in an easy way to for the common people to understand. And he realized that the corruption is always prevailing in the churches, that is the Roman Catholic churches, and he advised people to read the original text of the Bible instead of going to churches and learn and hear the interpretation from the clergy. And because people were befooled by the clergies, and the clergies have impressed them by their miracles, and the common people used to believe in witchcrafts also. And Martin Luther started Protestantism because he did not believe in the importance of clergies, and he wanted people to learn religion directly from the Bible by reading Bible. And he started Protestantism or Puritanism. Another important thing is humanism. An Italian writer called Pico della Mirandola, and he propagated the idea of man-centered universe instead of God at the center, which was the prevailing belief at that time. All the clergies used to propagate that idea that God is at the center and men and women are in the periphery. So Italian writer Pico della Mirandola objected against that idea, and he propagated the idea of man-centered universe in his book The Oration on the Dignity of Man. And so far as the field of science is concerned, before Renaissance there was a belief that sun moves around the earth, which is opposite to today's scientific belief. It was the idea of Ptolemy, and Ptolemaic system of the universe was challenged by Galileo and Copernicus. And Copernicus told that it is not sun but it is the earth which moves around the sun. And again, Harvey, another scientist, he discovered the circulation of blood in human body. So all these things, scientific discoveries, also help in the Renaissance. And in the field of religion, in the field of humanism, in the field of science, all these were together bringing some miraculous change, a disruption in the belief system of the then Europe. And all these influence can be seen in literature. And there was a tendency of reviving the ancient Greek learning anchored by Plato, Aristotle, and others. And in 1453, Turkey invaded Italy and destroyed everything. But some of the scholars, along with their books, could escape to Germany. And that is how knowledge was transferred from one place to another place. And in 1450, the invention of printing press by Johannes Gutenberg helped this thing, because previously what used to happen is that people used to write by their own hand. So there was no copying system as we have photocopy system nowadays. Previously there was no such machine. So first time Johannes Gutenberg invented printing machine that made the task of copying books easier for the scholars. And in 1477, the first book in England, the Dictes and Sayings of the Philosopher, was printed by William Caxton. So, what was the significance of the fall of Constantinople in 1453? It brought a positive change. And what was the change? It changed, and drastic change took place in the field of literature. Before 1453, we didn't see any such publications through printing press, but after 1453 the knowledge was transferred, and we can see the influence of Renaissance all over the Europe. For example, the change can be seen in the writings of Chaucer and his contemporaries, and that of Shakespeare and his contemporaries. In the writings of Chaucer and his contemporaries, we can see that medieval orthodoxy was prevalent, but this medieval orthodoxy, we can see in a less number of texts in the writings of Shakespeare and his contemporaries. And Italian sonnet form, which was invented by Giacomo da Lentini and popularized by Petrarch, was brought to England by Thomas Wyatt and Henry Howard, or the Earl of Surrey. And Petrarch's sonnet form was a 40-line poem, of course, with an octave and a sestet. And the rhyme scheme was ABBA, ABBA, CDE, CDE, or sometimes CDC, CDC. But in the English sonnet, or sometimes called Shakespearean sonnet, there were 3 quatrains and a couplet. And the rhyme scheme was AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, and GG. So there are four line stanzas. They are called quatrains, 3 quatrains, and at last a couplet. And another format was there, that is called Spenserian sonnet, and in the Spenserian sonnet the rhyme scheme is ABAB, BCBC, CDCD, and so far as the background of this age, the age of Elizabeth is concerned, we had 3 kings during that age, from 1453 to 1485 to 1603. First was Henry the 7th, and he reigned from 1485 to 1507. Then came Henry the 8th, and he reigned from 1507 to 1558. And at last, the most important, Queen Elizabeth, she reigned from 1558 to 1603. And some words to describe Henry the Eighth. He was actually a very cruel king. He wanted to divorce his wife, and Roman Catholic Church, which was prevalent at that time, did not allow him to divorce his wife. And then he defied the control of the Church of Rome, and that is how the Anglican Church, or the Church of England, came into existence. And after that, he married 4 times, each time after killing his previous wife. Actually, he wanted a son to be his successor, but ironically, what happened? Queen Elizabeth, his daughter, actually became the Queen of England, and she was one of the most successful rulers of England. And the other important issues during that age was Black Death in 1347 had shaken everybody's belief in the church, because after 1347 almost half of the population of England was swept, and people lost their belief in God, because it was a disease, and God had, of course, no control on that. And the next important thing is John Wycliffe, who translated the Bible and brought it close to the common people, has been declared a heretic in 1425. Much later after his death. Actually, he died in 1384, but he was declared heretic in 1425 by the Roman Catholic Church, because he translated Bible into English. Who? John Wycliffe. Another translator was William Tyndale. He translated the Bible in 1535, and he was burned to death for translating Bible into English from original Hebrew and Greek. And religious information initiated by Martin Luther influenced English people, and the King Edward the eighth, who rejected of course the Roman Catholic Church, and established the Church of England. So all these things together made the change. First, Edward the Eighth did not like Roman Catholic Church control. Second, Black Death in 1347 had shaken everybody's belief. Third, John Wycliffe was translated heretic. Again, William Tyndale also was burned to death. So all these things together have shaken the belief of people in Roman Catholicism. And then plague again struck in England in 1563, and at that time Queen Elizabeth was the queen, and she had to shift her court from London to Windsor Castle because the situation was very dangerous at that time. So she had shifted her court. And the most important thing so far as the political achievements of Queen Elizabeth is concerned, that under her reign, in 1588 England defeated the Spanish Armada, which was used to be very powerful at that time. And Elizabeth, what was the reason? Elizabeth rejected the marriage proposal of Philip II of Spain. Elizabeth was a Protestant, and she was the believer of the Church of England, like Edward the Eighth, her father, and Philip II was a Roman Catholic. Hence, he got support from the Roman Catholics, and Roman Catholics also tried to take avenge because England has established the Church of England or the Puritan churches. So Philip II and the Roman Catholics joined hand against the Queen of England, that is Queen Elizabeth. And Philip II launched an attack on England with his powerful naval army consisting of 130 ships, 2,500 guns, and 8,000 seamen and 20,000 soldiers. So it was a huge army, but they were defeated by the English people. So that was a great achievement so far as political achievements are concerned. That's how the settlement took place during the age of Elizabeth. According to Edward Albert, this is the age of political settlement as there were no dynastic problems. That is why the expansion of geographical horizons started. The great voyagers whose exploits were chronicled in the immortal page of Hakluyt brought home both material and intellectual treasures from beyond the still vexed vermouths, as Shakespeare called them. So this is the background and the European and Renaissance influence upon England in during the age of Elizabeth. So that's it for today. We'll see the next part in the next video.